Hey everyone, have a here bro, video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, it is time for another edition of Best Teams. This is the post 10-year anniversary edition. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So of course, I always start off with this disclaimer that the term Best Teams is my opinion and is purely subjective. There is no official tier list or Best Teams ranking from Akatsuki or Bandai. How I rank my teams, it's a multitude of different things: leader skill, damage defense, special skills, bench strength and flexibility, game mode effectiveness, we'll talk a little bit more about that, and then overall gameplay. Generally, your first position, you want more defensive units, then you want a combination of offensive and defensive for your main rotations. You have a bunch of flex with special skills, and I do run a support unit. You do not have to, especially certain game modes. You might not want to run a support unit, but this is kind of how you're going to view a lot of the teams on here. So it's very interesting ranking these teams after the post 10-year anniversary here, because there's a lot has changed, right, in terms of the end game of it all. So it is confusing time. So it is very difficult for me to judge a multitude of different things in terms of ranking teams, but I did my best. So of course, one of the things that we do have to focus on is formidable foes, right? So formidable foes is one of the more difficult new events that was introduced in the 10-year anniversary, and I do account that if this is going to be around for some time, it is a good indication on how good a team is from a turn one basis until the reset every time you go through the enemies and each stage. So when you're running a formidable foes, it's going to be a little bit differently, where you're going to be having mostly defensive units, and then of course once you start over in turn one, needs to be very strong. So you'll see a couple of different variations in teams within this ranking. And of course the brand new event, the quote-unquote hardest event ever in Dokkan, and I can't argue with that, is the Festival of Battles. Now this I don't take into too much consideration in overall judging, because there's only a handful of variations of teams that you can get all the way to level 50 and complete the whole thing, but there's a bunch that you can actually have to get to at least 25 to do the initial reward stage. But ultimately, I did not really look into this as a major factor in best teams. Maybe in the future as this kind of grows, but this just got introduced a couple days ago. So that's kind of my feelings in terms of Festival of Battles. Let me know what you guys think. Should I really include this as a big portion of quote-unquote best teams, right? So let's talk a little bit about what happened last time. So it's been a while since I've done a version of Best Teams. Actually, I did it in part 2, even before the EZA to the LR Gods and Super Saiyan 4s, and of course the new stages for Red Zone, the new stages for Formidable Foes, and this right here, the Festival of Battles, right? So a lot has changed, and a lot has change in terms of consideration of what the best teams are. So this list here is totally different now than what you're going to be seeing. So first and foremost, of course, I do want to give a couple of shout outs to some teams of honorable mention, units and teams that could have been better, especially the 10-year anniversary teams. For example, a shout out to Battle of Fate, which I was very excited that Battle of Fate was going to get a brand new 220% lead, because Battle of Fate has a lot of great units on here, as you can see, right? Look at the main rotations, fantastic. But of course, Goku and Frieza being a unit that on turn one is very troublesome, but if you can get to Goku, becomes a very strong team. It just did not make it to the top 10 team here. It has huge potential if they ever figure out like maybe a quick fix for Frieza in that turn 1, turn 2 space. But as you can see, a strong team, but at least they got a shot out here. The other 220% team that's a 10-year anniversary is going to be LR34. Fantastic team. However, that last unit is what we're looking for, and the bench strength on here is very thin. But yeah, main rotation is top notch. Of course, the EZA to the GT heroes there, very good as floater positions. but having that last position and then the bench strength for this is very weak. So, you know, it didn't make the top 10, but very fun team to run. So I'm sure a lot of people are running the LR34 team. Another shout out, another honorable mention here is the fall of Kamehameha in these current events, especially in game. Like, you know, 80% of the game, this team is going to wreck shop. But because you have to run 2 Gohans, it's very, very difficult to maintain some stability in terms of survivability when you cannot have both of the Gohans go into standby, right? So one has to stay in regular form, and that is definitely susceptible. But still, again, main rotation is very strong, and this is a team that can run both of the EZA, LR Gods, and Super Saiyan 4s. You can run LR34 on here, so overall, still a very, very strong team. It just didn't make the cut, and I would blame it on formidable foes more than anything else. But even on red zone stages, right, it's difficult having those 2 Gohans on the team. So one's fine, one's not an issue at all, because when you go standby, you're rock and rolling. And then the final honorable mention, which has not fallen off the top 10 before, is finally fell off, and that is movie bosses. So you might go, wait a minute, you know, Tech Broly is a top 10 unit for sure, but the team overall has issues. The bench strength is very light, much like what I was mentioning in terms of the LR34 team. The main rotations are strong, but like as you can see on the bottom of the list here, there's really not much of the elite units that you're able to run. You can't run the EZA LR for Super Saiyan 4 or Gods. None of the 10-year anniversary Dokkan Festival exclusive Gogeta and Vegito. You're just kind of stuck here in this spot here, and yeah, it's a little light in terms of the overall team. So yeah, unfortunately it fell off. Not, you know, many new movie bosses units have arisen, but I think we might see that in the near future, especially with the you know, super EZA to LR Broly, right? And it's going to be interesting on this team as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and transition to the top 10. I think I spent enough time already just going through the basics of this. Now let's dive into the top 10 here, starting with maybe a surprise to a lot of you. Is Daima Goku, Mini Goku for Transformation Boost and Dragon Ball Seekers. Transformation Boost is such a strong category. I just tend to forget about that, and as you can see here, you get to run Glorio as a support. You have a great bench strength. There's a lot of combinations you can run here. I probably should have created some more slides here. Now the only problem with this team here is this unit is stuck in first or second position. You're not running him as a floater, so there are certain situations if you're locked somewhere and you fall into a floater position, you got to move him back into first or second position on there. Now of course you have there are gods, you have Tech Broly, as mentioned before, a top 10 team there, first position unit. You got the Super EZA Buhan. A lot of great options on here, plus a ton of other bench strength usage as well. And then I did merge this team, the other Transformation Boost Daima team on here as well. Not as consistent or strong because we do have issues with the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta on here. But again, like, you know, 90% of the fights that you're going to fight, unless you're doing the top tier fights, you're not going to really have much of an issue. Still, again, very good bench strength here. Probably a better bench strength than this team here, being that you're able to run both of the 10-year anniversary Dokkan Festival exclusive LRs, where you can't do it on here. So I did have this team here be the representative for the Transformation Boost and the Daima, but in combination, that's why they're in the 10th spot, is where you can see here. So coming number 10, Daima Goku, with the sub-leader of Daima Vegeta Super Saiyan 3. Let's go ahead and move on to the number 9 spot. Number 9 spot is a very consistent and just a overall strong team, and that's the full power team with the 10-year anniversary Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. This is the full power at 220%. 220% is very, very powerful, very, very strong. Has a great bend strength and different combinations you can run. And that's really what I like about this team is the flexibility of it. You can do multiple different types of rotations and it's still all very, very strong. So again, you can kind of see different combinations here. And I do like that. Now, this is the only top 10 team. Wait a minute, is this the only top 10 team? Yeah, this actually there's two that you're not able to run the EZA LR Super Saiyan 4 or Gods or the Dokkan Festival exclusive units on the 10-year anniversary units on here, which shows you how strong the overall team is and that it made it to the top 10 even in the number 9 spot here, right? You can argue that the Diamond team is maybe slightly better because you have some of the top tier units on here, but I think just overall just the nice dynamic of the full power team and running at 220% gives a little bit of a different boost there. So and then against the versatility, or as the Daima, that Daima Goku is stuck in first or second position. So anyway, coming in number 9, again, in my opinion, is going to be full power Super Saiyan 2 Gohan leading this team here. So moving on to the number 8 spot is Majin Buu Saga. So this was a top 5 team for when it initially came out. For sure, it was very, very strong here, but really not many new additions have come about since the introduction of the LR 10-year anniversary Super Vegito. So besides that unit, it's kind of, fallen kind of by the wayside. It's only running at 200% versus 220, which is the new meta here, but it has nice combinations. It can run most of the hard fights, and Gotenks. There are sometimes some issues with Gotenks, but overall he's a solid unit. I gotta love that Buhan Kid Buu rotation there, and yeah, still overall solid team. I actually had this team here under the Gohan team because Gohan team is running at 220 and the flexibility is solid, but I just gave it an edge because you're able to run the Super Vegito, and we know how amazing the Super Vegito unit is from the 10-year anniversary. So I just gave it a slight edge, even though it's running at 200 versus the 220 here. So coming number 8, Majin Buu Saga. Let's go ahead and move on to probably my favorite fun team to run, and that is the Glorio team. Demonic Power Battle Wits Accelerated Battle. Very, very fun team. You're basically running Glorio, the leader, as a double support unit. Again, much like the Daima Goku, and it is susceptible in terms of the flexibility and rotations because you're running Glorio as a floater, period. You're generally not running him anywhere else. And if he gets locked up somewhere, it could be troublesome. Yes, I understand that the 10-year anniversary LRs are running at only 170% along with the EZA LR Super Saiyan 4s, but you can run different combinations of this. It makes it really, really fun in terms of here the Buhan Kid Buu combination. You have Beast Gohan here running at 200%, and again with the 3-turn support that Glorio provides, it does just make up for that reduction in the LR 10-year anniversaries and the EZA for the LR Super Saiyan 4 units on there. So I think this is a fun team. Glorio can get caught if he doesn't, do enough super attacks, not getting that 80% dodge. We know that, but again, I still think it's a very flexible, very fun team, and I just have him in the number 7 spot. So coming in number 6 is, I think, the other team. Yeah, this is the other team that does not have the 10-year anniversary or the EZA LRs on there, but it's so strong. It's the Uncontrollable Power Revenge Planetary Destruction team with the Dokkan Festival exclusive Broly here. You're running that Broly combination. You're running, you can run the EZA Tech Grade 8 Vegeta. If you want to have the domain activated, he does become a problem, so you might have to take him out, or you just have to move him around in the rotation, and then whenever you want to have the other domain get activated. Because remember, to activate the domain, all the characters need to be uncontrollable power, which this would be a team that would be uncontrollable power on here. Still overall just very fun team, very strong. Formidable foes is no problem. A lot of the red zones, no problem. And you remember, you still have a revival mechanic on here, and we always forget how strong a revival mechanic is because we're using less of the MUI Goku and the Evolution Vegeta, the EZA 6-year anniversary units, but revival is still one of the strongest mechanics in the game, getting that do-over. Now, I did still merge the power absorption transformation boost on this team here, and I did not merge this with Daima Goku because it's a totally different team, but this is more comparable to this team than it is the Daima Goku team here. So coming number 6, still holding strong, is the Uncontrollable Power team. I really like it. It may move down in the future, but as of right now, it is the best extreme class team that you can build in the game at this moment. All right, so let's move on to the number 5 team. Coming number 5, still holding strong, seemingly never disappearing. Beast Gohan. So Beast Gohan is Superheroes, Bottom Master Disciple, and Miraculous Awakening. The addition of the LR Gods on this team just makes this team even better. Yeah, you do have great support units. You have LR34 that can be a semi-support for the LR Gods. For Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. So Beerus is on here, MUI Goku for revival mechanics, dodge if you like. If you want to run a stacking unit, you can run the Super Saiyan Namek Goku. You can run the Evolution Vegeta if you like. There's just different combinations you can run on here. It's very strong. But the pillar of strength in first position is still Beast Gohan. Holding it down in the number 5 spot. I had multiple slides, but I'm just going to show this one on here. Again, you can run different combinations if you like. So still, amazingly, Superheroes, number 5 spot, top 5. Let's go ahead and move on to the number 4 spot. Number 4 spot goes to Fuse Fighters GT Heroes, with, of course, Kamehameha here. This is the LR Super Saiyan 4s being the Gogeta is amazing, right? The EZA Gogeta is, top 3 right now in best units in the game. However, its team is a little bit limited. What I mean by that is you're going to have problems with formidable foes, right, in that second turn. You kind of maybe have to switch out here. You may have to move like LR34 in the first spot here. Have this unit here over as a floater position, and just kind of move things around when you're doing formidable foes, because it doesn't have a rock solid option in first positions that you can just keep it there, right? We know that turn 1, the LR EZAs are fine. Turn 2 becomes where the question mark is, but generally speaking, you're okay as well. So yeah, coming in number 4 in the 4 spot is going to be Fuse Fighters GT Heroes, which then leads us into the number 3 spot is the LR Gods. So the LR Gods Power Beyond Super Saiyan Movie Heroes is, I rather have 2 Gogetas on a team versus the 2 LR Gods. But the overall team of this is much better. And we knew this before, right? When this came out, when these 2 units came out, right? A lot of people also thought that the Power Beyond Super Saiyans and Movie Heroes was better than GT Heroes and Fuse Fighters. So now this is the same situation, because of course, when you're running against formidable foes here, you can run Beast Gohan and Broly in first position, even though they're running at 170%. Their damage mitigation and everything across the board is going to be solid. And then once you transform and you can move them in a different position, well, Tech Broly needs to stay in the first position. And you're just going to be fine, right? You're just going to be fine. But generally speaking, I would prefer having the LR Gods and Super Saiyan 4s running in the same rotation. Then, of course, LR34 beefing those guys up when he is, in the rotation there as a support is huge. It's hugely beneficial. But again, overall, I think it's a very, very strong team, slightly better than the LR Gogeta team as the Fuse Fighters. So I did merge, and then another reason why it's in the third spot. Why don't I have number 3 on here? I don't have the number 3. This is fine. This is the third best team. Is I did merge the other movie heroes team in Gogeta and the STR Super Saiyan 3 Goku here, because you can run movie heroes on both of these, and they're very strong as well. Standalone, probably not in the top 10. Maybe. Well, it's questionable, but I did merge it with the LR Gods here. So coming in number 3, even though I don't have the number 3 on there, it is the Power Beyond Super Saiyans movie heroes with LR Gods. So, all right, coming in at number 2 and 1, it's 1A, 1B at this point in time. So I'm going to showcase this first, which is the so I don't have the numbers from 3, 2, and 1. Is the Super Vegito team, right? Earth Protecting Heroes, Fuse Fighters, Pure Saiyans. Remember, Fuse Fighters and Pure Saiyans, they're exactly the same on both leaders. It's just the difference of Earth Protecting Heroes and then successors, right? So this team here versus this team here, right? So which one's better? Well, I would say this one is, oh, actually, this is the wrong slide. Over here, here we go. Which one is better? From the Vegito, it's probably Gogeta if you're comparing this versus this, because you're able to run the LR Gods and the LR Super Saiyan 4 at 220 and 250% versus only 170% on this team here. But the difference here is that you're able to run Beast Gohan on this team, where you're not able to run Beast Gohan on this team. However, you can run, so if you're running like Formidable Foes, you're going to run something like this. It's going to be much stronger than if you're going to be running here. But if you're running Formidable Foes, you're probably running it like this. So instead, you're actually going to be running the EZA Grade 8 Vegeta on here versus Beast Gohan. Oops, over here. But on this team here, you have only running at 170% with the EZA Super Saiyan 4 and Gods. Over here, you're running at 250, 220%. So is Beast Gohan much better? Probably not. So I say Formidable Foes, it's in a much better position over here as well. And then finally, the kind of the trump card of all this is, well, this is much easier team to run to beat the Festival of Battles, because you're able to transform into Super Vegito, which Super Vegito is a better unit than Super Gogeta, in my opinion. So it makes it easier for you to finish the Festival of Battles, whereas the Super Gogeta team, you're running the LR Gods and Super Saiyan 4s at a higher beginning, but of course as a stack, they're all going to be fine toward the end there. But you only have one Vegito here, and it's a little bit harder in terms of accomplishing that. So, but both are incredibly good. But remember, I talked about, you know, Festival of Battles not being a huge consideration. So that's why I have Super Vegito as number 2. Super Vegito as number 2, and then the Gogeta team as the number 1 spot. So here are the rankings. Here's what they look like here in terms of post 10-year anniversary. Finally done with the anniversary here. Is coming in at number 10 is Daima Goku and Transformation Boost. Then you have Full Power with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Then you have Majin Buu Saga with Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Glorio's team and Demonic Power, Accelerated Battle and Battle Wits. Then you have number 16 with Uncontrollable Power. Top 5. Beast Gohan Superheroes running strong there. Fuse Fighters number 4. LR Gods and the Power Beyond Super Saiyan movie heroes number 3. And then 1A, 1B. It can easily be this, right, guys? It can just easily be this. It's a preference on your guys' judgment. I just have the Gogeta team as the number 1, but Vegito is the better unit. So maybe in the future, I might do something like this where I merge both of them together. And if I merge both of them together, it's going to open up a spot here, and then movie bosses probably would have fell in the top 10. Possibly, I'm not sure. I just kind of threw it in here. So it could look like this in the future, where I do merge the 10-year anniversary LRs together just to provide an extra spot, right? But it is at least different enough. The teams are at least different enough in terms of, actually, they're really not. It's like 1 unit difference, right? It's the leader and then Beast Gohan versus no Beast Gohan. Yeah, it's so similar that I can easily probably move it here. But again, this is my official top 10 rankings for the post 10-year anniversary. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this. Agree, disagree, do all that good stuff. Constructive criticism is welcomed. And with that, if you've been new to my channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning, and we will catch you next time. Later.